Time now for the next startup that we're putting the spotlight on, and it is going to be Azah. Meet your startup, Azah, and in fact, one of the co-founders is in the studio with us. He's come to our studio to talk more about this startup, which is in the business of wellness. So why are we featuring Azah? We've got so many startups now that are seeing $1 million opportunity when it comes to wellness. It is certainly a buzzword, not just in India, but around the world. We're doing it because people we respect have decided to put money into Azah, including the comeback sensation, Kunal Bahl. Aqib, thanks so much for joining us here on Startup Central, for coming to our studio. The question I want to first ask you is, does about Azah, pitch your startup here on Startup Central and pitch it in a way you pitched it to Kunal Bahl, so the viewers also get an idea of what impresses him.
So basically, the main point that I would like to focus on is how we started. It was in Feb 2018 when my co-founder Shashwat basically overheard his sister complaining about the problem of rashes and itchiness to their mother. And as two men who basically weren't really aware about what kind of depth goes into these menstrual hygiene related problems, it was very surprising for us and eye-opening. So we set out, we met and we did a survey among 320 women. And more than 50% of them complain about facing the problem of rashes and itchiness. And that's what actually got us started. That's what actually validated that this is a big enough problem to solve. And in this day and age when there are so many people buying iPhones and buying luxury cars, you can't really face such a fundamental physiological problem. So that's how Azah got started. So in searching solutions for this problem, one interesting fact that I would like to point out right now is that is sort of a testament to what we've been able to do is 95% of the women who actually tried Azah and who faced rashes before us, they no longer face rashes. So that's what actually keeps us motivated, and that's what actually worked while pitching to Mr. Kunal and Rohit Bansal as well.
This, that your co-founder's sister had a rash and you figure that this is a good problem that needs solution. So what all do you have? What all does Azah have? And what are you going to do after all of this money that you've managed to raise?
So our original mission statement has always been to solve the problem of quality in menstrual hygiene products. Starting with sanitary pads, we believe that we have been doing a good job and we want to continue doing better, and as well as introduce more products into this category. So menstrual hygiene in particular hasn't really seen a lot of disruption and innovation, partly owing due to the societal taboos that surround it. So one of the things that we want to really do is push out more products, identify newer problems, as well as increase the accessibility of our current product line, that is sanitary pads.
Have at the moment organic sanitary pads, and now I'm going to ask you a question, but I was just asking my previous interviewee, and that is, how is this not an overcrowded market as yet, or is that we women are such a large part of the population that there's enough to serve and enough room for everybody?
The market definitely is overcrowded, but there aren't a lot of people who are actually doing good stuff. So because simply I go back to the point that 50% of the women still face the problem of rashes and itchiness. Now this is something, this is a category that hasn't really seen a lot of innovation happening in the past couple of decades. So even though there are a lot of players, there are multinational corporations, but we believe that the job really hasn't been done well, and that is why we exist. We exist because there is a critical need for the for quality products in this category, and we envision that we are the ones who are going to do the best job in bringing them to the market.
You know, the world's first sanitary napkin still has not disintegrated into the earth. I am also told that while a lot of people claim that their sanitary pads are organic, are eco-friendly, it's not possible for a sanitary napkin to fully decompose. It's just because of what it does. There is always going to be some chemical point. What you have to note is how organic a pad is. Is that correct? And then aren't all of you guilty of pitching your product wrong, making us believe that it is indeed eco-friendly?
go out and pitch our product, we always are focusing on delivering the promise of a healthier period, and that is a problem that we intend to solve. Now, it just happens to be a coincidence that when you use natural materials, they are more skin friendly, they are better for your health. Coming back to the biodegradability part, we never claim that our pads are 100% biodegradable, but we certainly fare better on a lot of metrics compared to the existing conventional pads. So more than 95% of the pad is actually biodegradable. We are constantly working on making the less than 5% part biodegradable as well. But again, the reason that we don't feel guilty when pitching out this product is, again, what we set out to solve is the problem of a healthy period for a woman. Now, a woman currently has to go through so many problems during her period. You can't really guilt her enough to actually feel guilty about using a pad, especially at this point when most of the women in India still don't use pad. Yeah.
Tell me something, Aqib. You've talked about the rashes, how it gave you the idea. The other question I want to ask you is, there are other problems with female hygiene. One, of course, is to do with sanitary napkins. How affordable is your product? Because, you know, the large ones that we have from the giants is not used in the villages, it's not used in the hinterlands, it's not used by rural India simply because it is considered to be expensive.
That is true, and we as well aren't really in a position to be afforded by the rural population. We are priced at around 1.5 times the conventional pads, and that again is going back to the mission. We set out to solve the problem of quality. And while we believe that this is a basic necessity that needs to be accessible to everyone, we don't really want to compromise on the quality, but because that deviates us from the mission. So we are constantly focusing on making it more economical, and we also want to solve the problem of accessibility by partnering with NGOs and partnering with social projects to actually make it accessible to the rural and poor population as well.
To go, Aqib, I want to ask you that, is this the only problem that you're solving, menstrual health? Are you looking at other parts of female hygiene as well? And we have seen some startups do very well in that space, for example, Peace Safe and others.
So again, we are only limited by the mission statement, that is making a women's period easier. So we began with sanitary pads, but there are a lot of things that still lie unexplored, and we want to go into everything that can actually help us achieve that mission statement.
For the benefit of our viewers, is this startup run by men? Do you have any women? You've come to our studio, you are the founder.
So we have a lot of women staff in our team. In fact, more than 50% of our staff is women. We did start, so both my co-founder and I, we were men, and we were asked questions about how we can actually go about solving this problem. But again, we got inspired by Mr. Arunachalam, who is a man himself, and he's making such an impact on people's lives. So
that we're going to take a short commercial break. We want to thank you for coming to our studios, and as a woman, thank you for solving a problem that all of us face every month. With that, we're going to take a short commercial break, but stay tuned. A lot more lined up for you on the other side.